Hello, IceHogs fans, and welcome to another special edition of IceHogs TV. Broadcaster Joseph Zakrzewski. It's so good to see you. I hope everyone is staying safe and sound inside their homes all across the world or wherever you might be watching this one. We have a very special guest today. Newly signed goaltender Cale Morris is joining us via Zoom in his home as he's still steadily preparing for what is going to be a season of some shape or form, and that's what we're hoping on. But Cale, thank you again for so much joining us today, and let's dive right on into it. Newly signed, you announced it a couple of weeks ago. You had a great picture of you signing your first professional contract coming out of Notre Dame, and now with these last couple of weeks under your belt and all the accolades coming in and the congratulations text been, what's been the last couple of weeks like for you, and how you've now officially become a professional athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. Obviously, every kid who plays hockey dreams of playing professional. So this was a great first step in that path of mine that I'm kind of taking right now, and kind of just not much has changed. So just back to work and kind of trying to prepare myself as much as I can to start the season whenever that may be.
Now, with that being said, too, you finished up your senior year at Notre Dame. We'll dive into your college stats and your college career, which has been absolutely phenomenal. Awards galore for you at the NCAA ranks. But since your season ended in March, up until us catching up now, I mean, outside of the celebratory, get together where maybe you safely with family and friends on your contract, what's been the summer, the spring, and last spring and now the fall been like for you? Because this is a lot of time off, and I know if I know professional athletes, they want to get back to work, and for you, get on the ice as soon as possible. So I'm sure you've been probably chomping at the bit to get moving here.
Absolutely. I mean, I think I can speak for almost all the hockey players. This is a really extended summer we've had, so it's pretty unique, and just trying to do my best to stay fresh and not wear the body out too much, but still get some time in the gym and on the ice just to put in that work in the off season that obviously correlates to this in season.
Well, now with contract in hand, I know you've probably had a lot of conversations with general manager Mark Bernard, head coach Derek King, what the game plan is moving forward, joining online team meetings just to get a feel for everything, maybe even talk to goaltender development coach Peter Aubry. What's that been like? Because at certain times, training camps, development camps, that's kind of your introduction to professional life and the routines and strategy that goes behind it. But you don't get that this time around. How have you been able to maybe dive in a little bit differently in your meetings with the coaching staff, and what have been some of those conversations like?
Yeah, I mean, everyone top to bottom of the organization, from the equipment manager, the goalie coach, the GM, everything has been top notch. So I wouldn't expect anything less from such a prestigious program. But I'm just excited, excited to kind of start building those connections and those relationships with these guys. And then I'm obviously going to be looking forward to putting a face to a name and stuff like that when the time comes where we can meet in person. But yeah, it's been really exciting so far.
Well, it's great to hear, and I know a lot of Ice Hogs fans are excited to see you out there. There was a lot of buzz when you announced that you'd be joining the Ice Hogs organization and seeing the stat lines that come with. But now we want to get to know the person, how Ice Hogs fans can relate, and it's certainly a great time to tell great stories, and yours is one of them. Coming out of, again, Notre Dame, which is a prestigious hockey. I mean, we had Dennis Gilbert on the Ice Hogs roster the last couple of seasons. I know you got a chance to maybe hopefully chat with him a little bit about what his experiences were like before being a part of the Blackhawks trade with the Colorado Avalanche. But now, looking back at your college career, full 4 years, you don't see that all too often. Senior year, outstanding, but it was your sophomore and junior year that you really grabbed national headlines. Looking back, big picture, before you get into the nitty gritty, what are some of those memorable experiences for you? Because Notre Dame hockey, that's a pretty big stage to play on.
Absolutely. I mean, all the way back to my freshman year, I think I even grew a lot. I had an opportunity to be behind Cal Peterson, who's obviously with the LA Kings now. He was captain that year, so it was cool to see a captain that you kind of look up to, because obviously he was a starting goalie there. I wanted to be like him throughout my college career, to kind of just be a sponge in the locker room and on the ice and just kind of learn from him and his professionalship. So that was a great opportunity to kind of have that and just get accustomed to the college lifestyle there without having to worry too much about performing and stuff on the ice, but just being able to work and just kind of get better each day. And then obviously going into my sophomore year from there on out, it was a opportunity to just get better every day and just compete with the other goalies, and had a very successful team year. That season, I think we won Big Ten championship. Obviously, made a very deep run to the national championship and lost that game. But I mean, the memories at Notre Dame on the ice, off the field, like everything, it's just, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was probably the best 4 years of my life and something I'll definitely cherish forever.
Well, congratulations again with your 4-year career. And I mentioned Dennis Gilbert earlier, and I know IceHogs fans know him pretty well and are anxious to see and wish him the best moving on to Colorado. But did you get a chance to talk with Dennis about the Blackhawks organization, what the IceHogs are like, what's in store? Because I know there's no better insight than talking to a former teammate about what's in store when you turn pro.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, me and Dennis go back. We played together for the Chicago Steel, so even pre-college we knew each other, and then obviously we were close in college as well. And I sent him a text a couple days ago telling him congrats about the trade. And it's funny, I'm from Colorado, and he's obviously been in Chicago, so we're flipping the script there. But yeah, I mean, he had nothing but positive things to say about the organization as a whole, and he kind of just told me a couple places to like check out and stuff like that. But I'm sure I'll connect with him as the season gets closer, just for nitty gritty things about little questions I have here and there, but he had nothing but good things to say about the whole organization.
Well, there's, again, no better insight than a teammate to help you show the ropes a little bit about what Chicago, the IceHogs, the overall organization has in store for you.
Absolutely.
Well, now getting into the nitty gritty of that college career of yours again, and it was your sophomore and junior year that you really seemed to just skyrocket as a team and individually. You get the 2-time Big Ten champion in both of those campaigns. You get the Mike Richter Award that sophomore year, and moving into junior year, a nominee, Hobie Baker finalist. I mean, the awards really piled up for you. I mean, I know we look back at your entire career as a whole, but I'd imagine when you have to pinpoint certain moments on the ice for you individually, what's been probably one of the staples coming out of that, because so much came your way in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think something that will always stick with me is that run we had my sophomore year. I mean, winning the Big Ten championship and then going into the tournament and stuff. I think we had 4 or 5 games where we won the game-winning goal in either the last minute or in overtime. So that was just an electric run, and you kind of just build those memories with those teams that last a lifetime. So we were really a brotherhood that year, and I think it was definitely a special group that kind of will stick with me.
For you and your development on the ice, I mean, what did you see in yourself that you just, you felt the confidence build as you continue to play and your team continued to play in front of you, and the awards are a reflection of that? But internally, how did you feel coming off the ice after every game, after every practice, just knowing that you were getting better and you're seeing results because of it?
Absolutely. I think obviously when the team's playing great, and then that translates to individual success. So I think as a whole, we were playing with a lot of confidence, and that just reflects to individual play too. So I mean, I believed in all the guys in front of me. I knew they believed in me. So it was just a fun time. There was no real worries or anything. Everyone was just having a good time, getting better, competing within each other. So it was awesome.
And to give fans a little bit of perspective there, .944 save percentage, 1.94 goals against average, 27-8-1 records. I mean, pretty much every time you step on the ice, every other time. More than that, you're picking up wins. And then your junior year, again, a .930, 2.19 goals against average. Some pretty impressive stuff. Now, after that, moving into your senior year, things got a little interesting for you. And I find it kind of interesting as well, just knowing that we're in a time where, you ask a lot of questions of yourself and how you want to moving forward. Well, you had a lot of opportunities to potentially go pro after that junior year, and it was big for your organization in Notre Dame to announce that you were coming back for your senior season. What was that like as an athlete and just as a student, knowing that, you have these opportunities, you could go now, but you want to return and be a senior at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think obviously, first of all, going to a place like Notre Dame and education was very important to me. And being a student athlete, the student part obviously comes first. So being able to, at the end of the day, say I graduated from the University of Notre Dame is probably the biggest accomplishment I have so far. So being able to do that with my best friends, the senior class, was going to be something hard to pass up and something I thought about for a really long time. And I knew that coming back, I'd have a chance to take a step forward in my career, to be a leader and have a higher responsibility. And obviously getting a letter on the jersey that year taught me a lot on and off the ice that I don't think I would have gotten if I would have left. So, I mean, I wouldn't change that decision for anything. So it was a great senior year. And I mean, super proud of all the guys and all the seniors for graduating. So it was so awesome year.
Now you become the big man on campus. You get the letter on the jersey, and you talked about Cal Peterson and his role and what he did with Notre Dame when you were just a freshman, the little man on campus. Now you're the big man on campus. But it was a little bit of a transition year for the program overall. So yeah, you had a lot on your plate, not only on the ice, seeing a lot of shots, a lot of action, but also off the ice, kind of being that Cal Peterson, what he was to you, showing the ropes and trying to get that new wave of fighting Irish into the system.
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely had a younger decor and a younger group and all. And I think at that point, you have to rely on your leadership group to kind of set the culture right, to make sure that these guys are all kind of getting in the right direction for their careers going forward, and you want to put some trust in the organization and the coaches that you can be the right people to do that. So, I mean, our leadership group was really strong at Notre Dame, and I think hopefully it correlates to some success for them headed down the road.
And that's, of course, the springboard for you now moving into the professional ranks. You take everything you did that senior year, that one last hurrah wearing that navy and gold, now moving into the pro ranks, but it's not a normal senior year. That's the goofy part of it. You did a virtual graduation. You tried to spend as much time with friends and family as you could before COVID-19 came in and quarantining came in and the training regimen came in. What's the biggest staple and what's the biggest unique memory that you had from that senior year? Because obviously you want to cross that stage, you want to grab that diploma, and you want to move forward. But given the circumstances, you had to make a couple of changes, especially late on the fly.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I think everyone in the hockey world, and especially for college, is experiencing interesting times right now. But I mean, the senior year as a whole, just kind of realizing it was my last chapter at the story that was kind of being written at Notre Dame. It was just fun to spend every day with the group of guys there. And then obviously the senior class, I mean, we were doing classes together for the last 4 years, being together, living together. So just those memories of just shooting around, messing at the houses and stuff like that, just all the stuff kind of off the ice that doesn't really get highlighted, but you know, that you're spending time with each other every day was the stuff that kind of I'll remember.
Now, you, like a lot of college students that do the virtual graduations and are wrapping up the year, you enter a workforce that's a little uncertain. And I read an article coming out of close to your hometown out in Colorado, just talking about the anxiousness that you had, the excitement that you had of trying to land that first pro contract. You don't exactly know early on where it's going to be, what opportunities are going to be there for you. Was that a stressful time for you, an excited time for you? How did you approach that, knowing that just the off season before you had a lot of opportunities to go pro then right after your junior year?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little stressful at times, with the uncertainty of what the future held. But at the same time, I believed in myself, and I was confident that I had kind of put in the work to earn the opportunity to take a step in my career. So, it was good to kind of get away and spend some time with some family and kind of refresh and hit the reset button and then ramp things up here. But I mean, everyone's kind of dealing in the same situation with everything that's going on in the world. So I'm just trying to go day by day and just stay positive and just keep working.
Well, now you got that contract in hand. You signed the deal with the Rockford IceHogs, begin your AHL and professional hockey career. But we all know that AHL contract for you, especially the accolades that you've received, that's your foot in the door. That's your ticket in to be an audition that everyone is going to see. How excited are you to have that and just know that, okay, I got my name in, my resume's on the top of the stack. Now it's time to show what I can do.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't really ask for anything more. Just want an opportunity to kind of prove myself and just work as hard as I can, do anything I can to help the team. So I'm really excited about the season as a whole and joining such a great organization.
Now, diving into your world personally, reading that same article, your girlfriend's from Pittsburgh, spent some time out there. You're a Colorado native. Hopefully, you've been able to travel and see family safely. But I'd imagine between the training and the graduating and everything else going on, again, it's been a unique summer. But how has your downtime been, and ultimately trying to catch up with family maybe a little bit more than you're used to?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely been enjoying the family time and stuff, going to some nephews' baseball games and just enjoying being around family and friends and keeping myself not going too crazy. I play a lot of golf, some tennis, so it's been a good balance of work and play. But it's been an interesting summer. I guess it's not even summer anymore, but an interesting off season for all hockey fans and hockey players. So I think everyone's kind of just trying to do their best. So that's all you can really do.
Well, with what are some of the silver linings for you? It seems like right now you get to spend maybe a few more holidays with the family that you probably haven't had, given the life of a hockey player and working in the hockey industry. Thanksgivings, Christmases, New Year's, Valentine, all that's kind of off the table. But it looks like some opportunities might be had. So I'd imagine that's a small benefit to what's been an overall pretty interesting setup.
Absolutely. I mean, could be the first Thanksgiving home in 5 or 6 years. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Always looking forward to home cooked meals by my mom. So it's always special to be around your family. I know that the hockey lifestyle is a rapid one, and you're moving from place to place a lot, and you're not very home very often. So anytime you get to experience that and just be home is something you gotta be thankful for.
Might have to make a second order of extra food just to make sure her boy's taken care of when it
Exactly.
comes from
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and everything.
Yeah.
Well, also, you're kind of making a return to Midwest roots. That's kind of one of the fun underlying stories. You talked about it with Dennis Gilbert. You play for the Chicago Steel, not all that far away from Rockford and the IceHogs organization. You also went to high school and South Elgin High School as well. So this is going to be a somewhat of a homecoming for you, dare I say, a little bit coming back to the Midwest and getting your career started here.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I've had nothing but great experiences and great memories from Chicago, and we were fortunate enough a couple times at Notre Dame to play a couple games at the United Center. So, obviously that's the end goal is to go up with the big club. But I'm just excited to be back in Illinois and just like you said, it's kind of like a homecoming. I mean, my mom went to school there, Northwestern. So, I mean, couldn't be more excited.
And then for your family, I mean, what for you overall, a native of Colorado, you go to school at Notre Dame, you got the Midwest connection. What got you involved in the game? Where did your game start that began this process for you and ultimately gets you here today with the IceHogs?
Yeah, I think one of the major things was obviously the Avs kind of having a good run there when I was younger. They won the Cup in '01, and obviously with Patrick Waugh there and all those superstars, it was hard not to get excited about hockey. So I mean, growing up, I played football, baseball, and soccer, and then once I got a taste of hockey at about the age of 10, I knew it was game over from there, and just it took over. So obviously. It worked out in the long run, but yeah, it was a good time growing up in Colorado with all those superstars here.
Patrick Waugh, the guy that you looked up to, and what made you want to become a goaltender. And that 2001 run, I mean, you had his stellar play, Joe Sacking, of course, the Raymond Bork story, well written there too.
Absolutely.
So I'd imagine that whole run had you pretty much hook, line, and sinker.
Yep, exactly. It was electric. I mean, you remember those big rivalries of Detroit and Colorado. So I mean, never forget the battles that they had there. So I mean, once I got a taste of that and saw just the intensity that hockey brought, it was something I had to get into.
Well, again, we're incredibly excited to have all that come back full circle to the Midwest once again and get your career started with the Rockford IceHogs and get this season going sooner, hopefully, rather than later. But in this downtime, before we get to catch up with you again, what have you been into? Any new hobbies? Any new interests? Are you hitting that Netflix button and smashing the remote, or what's going on with you that you're trying to stay active so you're not staying in the gym and on the ice for too long?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I joined a country club this summer, so I was working on the golf game, trying to hit the ball a little straighter. And then I've been playing tennis a bit when the weather lets me. I mean, typical Colorado, it's 30 degrees today. It's supposed to be 65 tomorrow, and then snow on Sunday. So just doing whatever I can to stay active and kind of stay sane here, playing some video games, watching Netflix, different TV shows. So I think a pretty typical hockey summer there for the guys.
Well, Cale, I cannot thank you enough for joining us here on IceHogs TV and the organization. Congratulations again. I hope you enjoy it, your time with family, and we look forward to seeing you at BMO Harris Bank Center in some way, shape, or form. Get this season going, and we got a lot to talk about once you make the pro debut, first pro win, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna have a lot of fun this year. But again, thank you so much.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.